Hello, welcome, Howler.
Bye.
Hi.
How's it going?
First try. Mm. Going pretty good now. Now. What have you been up to?
uh,
Did you play Goaty?
I played. Oh, God of War.
Oh no, God of War. I'm talking about Elden Ring, baby.
That did win Game of the Year, didn't it?
Yeah,
I'm
and so
sorry, I
did
forgot. God of War got like a
so
bunch
did
of other ones though.
Rabbi Bill Clinton. He also
Dude,
got
that
an.
was so weird, right?
Dude, I knew something was gonna happen as soon as that kid got up on stage, and if you look back at the VOD, I was trying to skip it because I was like, I don't want to deal with this bullshit.
Oh yeah, in case he said something like horrendous.
Yeah, but it wasn't terrible. It was just weird. It was really
So
weird.
when they went on stage and he followed them up there,
Mhm.
the first thing I thought about him was that's a really young person to work for.
From software, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's weird. He looks really young. And then I was just like, well, maybe he's baby faced, right? Like
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And then when he went to step up and they all look confused, I was like, what is going like what the fuck is happening? Because all of them look so confused.
I initially thought that he was like a kid of like one of the teams, but then I'm like looking at him, I'm like, I maybe he might be a kid of somebody's, but these are all game devs, and it's just like, do they all have kids? But no, it was just bizarre because like you saw him like as they were getting up on stage, you saw him in the crowd, and then him kind of just walk up and blend in with the line. And yeah, and then when
I didn't see that.
yeah, he was in the audience, and he was just like in one of the seats, and then as they were passing him, he just went in. Nobody
That's
stopped him.
hilarious.
Yeah, nobody stopped him. Nobody was like, it was really bizarre. It was really fucking bizarre. But yeah, the look of confusion on like everybody's face, especially the creator, Miyazaki. He's just like it's like, what is he saying? Yeah, it was weird. Game Awards was a weird one.
Pacino, man.
Dunkachino,
So
yeah.
old.
That was really, really goofy.
I don't know why they brought him on.
I don't know either. Like, you even had Al Pacino be like, I don't really play video games. And like, I watch
because he was like, I can't even read the fucking prompter. And
yeah,
like, that's great.
that's
They
old
didn't
man.
do this with you before.
No, nobody told him jack shit. His
and
agent,
then, like,
his agent was probably like, yeah, Al, you'll probably get some money off this. Like, you want to do this dumb game thing? He's like, okay.
Well, his speech was like, that's another thing. Like, they didn't give it to him ahead of time.
No, they wanted to read off the prompters. Yeah.
Right, but it's like,
I don't know, man. Like,
you're an actor, dude. You can't do a little better.
No, because you could obviously see he does not care.
For sure.
Because he rambles, like he rambled a good bit, but I'm like, it's Al Pacino. What are you gonna do? He's an old guy. On top of that, I think my whole thing was like, why? Like, he's not really connected to anything video game wise. Like, that was also the hilarious thing, is that like when he got announced by Jeff, everybody in the crowd was like, there's a shot of like the camera looking at the crowd, and there's this one girl that's like, what the fuck? Like, Al Pacino. And yeah, he just comes out, he's like, I never played video games. Hooah! And it's like, all right, thanks, Al. But it was just weird. I mean, I'm glad that like Christopher Judge got an award, but yeah,
That speech was so long.
it was so long. Nobody was like, come on, fucking hurry up.
It's Christopher Judge.
It's Christopher Judge, yeah. But like, I guess, yeah. I mean, it's the first. Well, not the first, but like, it's one of the big awards of the night, and give him his speech because it's his last game technically, unless they do God of War, Egypt, or Mayan, or whatever the fuck else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Game Awards was part of our week, so that's a very weird one to talk about. Yeah, just the whole.
Well, I mean, we're not diving like into
too
video
into it,
games
yeah.
and stuff and all
Just
that.
like the awards and shit, but I guess we'll probably talk about it in like the news. But yeah, speaking of like actors and shit, Michael Madsen. You know who that is, right?
No.
Okay, so there was a bit in the Game Awards where like these two guys dressed in suits came up with one guy in the middle. That was Michael Madsen. He's an actor. He's been in like Quentin Tarantino movies. And basically the reason why he's out there is because he's starring in a game called Rocket City, I think it's called. Which is like a bunch of other actors in it in a video game. I don't know if it's like a GTA thing, but it looks like they spend a lot of money because it's a lot of actors. Yeah, Michael Rooker's in there. Chuck Norris, which is a weird one. But you see Michael Madsen on stage. Michael Madsen looks rough, dude. He looks rough. Like his eyes are like reddish, and like his his under his eyes are like really dark, and I'm like, damn, he looks rough. Like it looks like years of drugs. I don't know if he's even on drugs right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
What's his name? Is it Keegan Michael Key? Is that his name?
Yeah, when he announced the Mario movie.
He came out,
Try to make
doing
a joke.
really good. Like his flow was super good, and he was like making jokes, and nobody was laughing. And I was like, "Are you like this is hilarious? How are you not laughing at him?"
It's I don't know.
The Game Awards are like cursed to be fucking weird forever.
They're cursed to be weird and like not really considered to be anything of importance, to be honest.
For sure.
Yeah, because like that's what I'm saying is that like you have Jeff Keighley announce Al Pacino to announce one of the awards, and it's like, where was this poll? Who decided this? And like not only that, you know, the perfect example of that was like the fighting game award. Like one of the nominees was fucking Sifu. And that was like the biggest thing of like who came up with this?
I actually wanted Sifu to win.
There was a part of me that wanted Sifu to win as well.
Because I liked it. I liked it so much. I was like, oh yeah, I think that should win.
I liked it, but like I don't think it should be in the fighting game category. That's just a bizarre thing.
So what do you consider that? Action?
Yeah, action game.
Okay.
Yeah, because like it's a beat 'em up, and the
so
rest of
fighting game is considered one-on-one side screen type of thing.
Yeah, side screen or 3D fighter. You know, an actual thing you can have a competition with. I mean, in a weird way, maybe Sifu because you're fighting for points, but like there's no anything else in Sifu that like you're fighting another person. You're fighting AI. You're fighting enemies from the game, but you're not fighting another person. Because that was also the other issue, is that like all the other nominees were actual fighting games. Like you had Multiverses, you had King of Fighters, DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, All-Star Battle R was like an action. That's a fighting game as well. Not the best fighting game, but it's a fighting game. But it was weird because like I don't know what else came out this year that was a fighting game. But I think maybe they just wanted to fill a hole. Maybe.
No, for sure they did.
Yeah, it was weird, man. That was just a weird thing. But yeah, the Game Awards are still a joke because the fucking kid coming on stage and saying the Bill Clinton shit, because everybody was like, why don't you have security? Like, I mean, it's a good thing the kid just said something stupid, but there could be somebody that could just do something horrendous. So it's like you gotta fucking get security, and instead of spending money to get Al Pacino in, get security.
They need to have stuff pre-planned for sure,
and know how many people are going to be coming up on stage as well. I feel like that's also a big one.
Yep.
Yeah, because like that, because you know, like I said, it wasn't a huge thing. It was a stupid experience, but yeah, that's really worrying when like just some kid can just get up there, like no problem, and nobody bats an eye. Yeah, Game Awards are kind of a joke, but you know. Anyways, Goaty, you excited for more Elden Ring?
Making another one?
I don't know. Everybody was expecting a DLC for it, but I don't think that shit's happening anytime soon.
Nah, they would need George R. R. Martin anyways.
Maybe. I don't know. Even George, I think there was an interview with George R. R. Martin where he was like, I barely did anything in that game. Like, I came up with the world, but like some lore stuff, but that, and he's like, not really everything. And it's like, oh, okay. Thanks, George. So yeah, we'll get into the Game Awards in a bit, but you know, what have you been doing on your personal time besides Destiny?
I tried Back for Blood. I still don't really like it.
It's a good thing you bought it for $7.
Yeah, cheap enough.
I mean,
I'll still play through it all.
I mean, I'll play with you, obviously, because I bought the thing. And that was a hilarious thing, is that like I was actually thinking, all right, what's worth my money to get the Ultimate Edition or just get the base? And I'm really thinking about it, and I'm like, am I actually going to play this game at all? And I'm like, I'll just get the base. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know when that's coming, because it's supposed to be coming in today, but it's already like 9 o'clock, and the estimated delivery is still like around like 10.
Yeah.
No idea when that's showing up.
I'm sure it'll be here tomorrow for you.
Probably, most likely. What am I actually excited for that's actually coming in tomorrow is my cooler. Holy shit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did you have to talk to them about it? You had to like call them?
So, I bought this cooler from another seller because it was a little bit more cheaper. So this has been my ongoing shit. Sorry, I realize I cut you off, but I just want to get this one thing across. So I contacted the seller about the cooler that I purchased that got canceled. Not got canceled. It got delayed, but they never sent me an update until I actually sent them a message being like, so what's going on with this thing? And they're like, oh, we'll send it to you when we have any available because it got broken. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, can I cancel? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. We'll give you a refund. And I was like, okay, cool. So I got the refund, and I was looking online to see if I could get the exact same cooler, but, you know, same price. Unfortunately, they've all gone up. So I was like, fuck. So the exact same company makes an exact same cooler, same size, but it's RGB. The one I was looking at wasn't RGB because I don't really care about RGB, but the one that now I got is RGB. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just get the RGB one. I was like, I'll just get the RGB. So yeah, that should be coming in tomorrow, hopefully. But yeah, that's been my endeavors with the cooler, because that was just the other thing, is that like I've been using my old cooler. It's been okay, but my only issue is that like I've had some weird random shutdowns on my computer because I don't know whether or not it's my CPU running hot and this thing can't keep up. So I just went online to see if there's any ways to like try to like not let that happen, and so far so good. But that's the one thing I'm just worried about, is that like, you know, if I'm streaming something, the computer just shuts down, and then I also lose some of that video, you know, that recording, and then, you know, I have to restart again. So yeah, waiting on that cooler.
Yeah. That's gonna be here tomorrow though.
Yeah, and then I can install it, and then we can. What the fuck am I gonna play tomorrow? I have no idea. I have to figure that out for stream. But yeah, sorry, I cut through with my cooler shit. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm pretty sure I asked you a question. So, Back for Blood.
Mm-hmm.
It's like meh. I don't know. It's like I've played the first 2 levels. It all feels very enclosed and like time to shoot versus killing a zombie when there's like 30 zombies is kind of tough, because like if you want to use a pistol, you're bop 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 bop, and you gotta precise aim, and like I get that's kind of part of the game, but like when there's like an entire, like when you're in a building and there's like 40 zombies in the hallway, it's like, how am I supposed to hit that? And then, which, you know, the part that they want you to do is, okay, so switch to your AR. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But then there's friendly fire on, and I'm shooting anyone that's in front of me, And it's like, so now you want me to be even more strategic with like asking someone to kneel?
Yeah, I forget. Does you have to be online, right? You can't play this solo?
Yeah. Uh, you can play solo, but you get bots.
Oh, okay. So that's where that comes into problems. Yeah, I can understand that.
So I don't know. I guess that's kind of the one thing I miss from like. No, maybe you did get bots in Left 4 Dead. Did you? I can't remember.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. All right, never mind then. Whatever. I guess it's similar still, but it doesn't feel as good as Left 4 Dead for some reason. It could be nostalgia factor or something, but ultimately, like I don't find it as fun. So
Yeah, I think that's the thing is that like the Turtle Rock has I think kind of missed the mark with a lot of their games because their previous thing was Evolve. You remember that?
yeah,
Yeah, so it's like a lot of people were really hoping for them to do a good one this time, but the problem is that like I think they're kind of like working in the same shadow as Left 4 Dead and like really trying to recreate that like that feeling of what made Left 4 Dead so good, and so far it hasn't like really worked. Um yeah, because like what I remember when we played the beta was like it had like a card system, right? Which seemed interesting. Like
yeah,
it seemed very interesting, but like so far what I've seen after the beta and like the actual reviews is like people are saying that it's not necessarily a good like follow up or spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead.
yeah,
And
not at all.
yeah. So I don't know, it's interesting to see that where it's like it looks very polished, obviously, but I guess I still kind of have to like experience the game to actually see it because I played Left 4 Dead 1 and I really enjoyed Left 4 Dead 1, but I wasn't too crazy for it as like some people were. Cuz I usually play that shit by myself, and I think a lot of what a lot of people enjoy is playing the game with their friends and like other people, like online
Yep.
specifically. So I don't know. I'll wait until my copy gets here and then we'll play.
um, and then Dying Light 1, I bought,
Oh yeah.
and I played like 30 or 40 minutes of it in the beginning, and I was like, eh, it's alright.
So yeah, we talked about this. You said that the story's not good, right?
Yeah, it feels.
Oh, my package is here. I'll get it later.
Sure, you don't want to go to real quick?
No, it's outside. It's right outside my door.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, it's dark out. No, like the lights not on. Nobody's gonna see it unless somebody really, really sees it. Unless someone really
Uh,
wants a copy of Left 4 Dead and my Secret Santa gift. Oh, not Left 4 Dead. Back for Blood. Sorry. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, my Secret Santa gift, which is another copy of Back for Blood.
Sorry. uh, yeah. So yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Dying Light. That like yes, the story in Dying Light 1 is not the strongest part of that game. It's like you said, it is the gameplay itself which is actually fun for the most part.
Yeah.
Um yeah, like it's funny to think about this too where like Left 4 Dead, god damn it. Dying Light because it's zombie
Back,
games.
yeah, I was about to
Uh
say Back for Blood, don't worry.
Dying Light 2 I remember there was like a whole big thing about like how Dying Light 2's story was like super long, and like there was like a whole thing where like the creators of Dying Light 2 were saying that oh the game's going to take like more than 500 hours to complete, and I'm just like and then to hear and there was like some weird shit with like the story as well where like I think the lead writer left during mid-production, so the story in Dying Light 2 is also pretty bad, but well, actually I think it might be a little bit worse than Dying Light 1, but I don't know. I it's like that's a part of me as well is that like I think I prefer the gameplay in those games more than I do the story because most zombie game stories are like not anything to write home about. Maybe Resident Evil because of how goofy they are, but yeah, anything else is just like mm. So yeah. Dying Light? Are you gonna keep playing more Dying Light?
Yeah. So I played it like 40 minutes in the beginning, and then
Okay.
I went back and played it for another like 2 hours.
Hmm.
And as I progressed, the gameplay felt good. The AI kind of feels bad. Uh,
Yeah, the zombies are a little goofy. Oh, and the
but
and the human enemies too.
uh, but like you had said, the story so bad. I don't get it.
Yeah, the story isn't the strong part of that game.
Um, Shoot, I'm trying to think. Uh, oh, the new season of Destiny came out.
Oh yeah, how's that going?
Uh,
Is this one the I suppose is Lightyear, right? That's what it's called.
no. That's the expansion.
Oh, it hasn't come out
This is
yet.
a season.
Oh,
So the
okay.
expansion will come out February 22nd, I think, something like that.
I literally just had a doubt in myself because I was like, wait, what is it called? Is it called Buzz Lightyear? Like it's something year. I'm like, oh wait, it is actually just called Lightyear, right?
No, it's not Lightyear's Lightfall.
God damn it! Oh, because of the font. We talked about this. That the font looks like looks like the Buzz
Yeah,
Lightyear. Yeah. That's why I got confused. Lightyear.
it looks terrible.
Oh man, it's not great.
Uh, I think the DLC is gonna be fun when that comes out, but that's only
Yeah,
because it's a big DLC.
yeah. Looks good. You know, if you're excited for Destiny.
Um, Sorry. The season was. Sorry, I'm still playing it, so it is. Sorry, not was. It is decent. Um, I'm not gonna put a bunch of time into it because there's really not much you can do. So there's a weekly reset which gives you things to do and like pick up more powerful gear each week to
Hmm.
become more powerful in the season, so you can do the more powerful end game shit like raid. Well, raiding you can already do, but like the Grandmaster Nightfalls. I'm sure most of this is gibberish to you. Um, but uh, but the things I think I like the most so far is they brought a new dungeon, and that was fun. Feels kind of short compared to other dungeons, but still overall like a fun thing to do.
Hmm.
And then they brought like 5 new armor sets with this season, and I would say at least 3 out of the 5 look nice, and I'd like to get those. So that's probably what I'll end up doing is work towards those
Okay.
armor sets. Um, and then I'm pretty sure I watched like a ton of shit that I just don't remember
Don't
right
remember.
now. I gotta start writing them down at some point.
That's what I do, bro.
Um, yeah, I did it last week, but this week I just like wasn't paying attention, I guess. But I watched this thing yesterday, called Ancient Top 10, and
Ancient what?
it Ancient Top 10. It's a
Oh,
History
eight.
Channel thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And the first one is Secrets of Egypt, and man, this shit's like actually pretty cool because like first off, did you know King Tut's fucking name is not King Tut? It's like actually like Tut is like short for something else.
Yeah, Tutankhamun, I think it's called.
I had fuck you first of all, and no, I had no fucking idea.
Fuck you for learning history. I'm like, yeah, to like to
Well,
eh,
all right. So where did you know this from though?
history.
Like from school?
Yeah.
Did I not pay? I either didn't pay attention enough, or like they didn't teach that. So like I've heard King Tut so many times throughout my life, like just the word, reading it somewhere, hearing it from like a family member, or seeing it for like the museum because I think they brought that around at some point.
Yeah.
So anyways, I just never knew this, and I like my mind was fucking blown when they were like, "It's King Tutamungus" or whatever.
Tutanmungus, yeah.
Yeah, King Tut comes to Among Us.
Yeah.
Watch out, he's very sus.
Uh-huh.
uh,
Yeah, Tutankhamun. That's what it is.
I was gonna say, nah, I have nothing in common, but
Okay. Okay.
it would have been a bad joke. So,
It's all right. Go ahead.
um, I'm just gonna say a few other things that I saw in here that like just kind of like I was like, what the fuck? Uh, man, I want to say they either painted the tip of the pyramids gold or that it was solid gold. Not maybe not solid gold, but it was gold. The pyramid tips were
Mm,
gold. They said.
hmm
Uh, and that might be why you don't see the tips of the fucking pyramids ever, uh, anymore because they would have had a tip, right?
I mean,
Um,
yeah, and I think just I don't know, does gold weather out over time?
I don't think so. I think it
Mm,
would have still been there,
mm,
but the only reason I say it wouldn't be there because of like thievery is because apparently tombs used to be raided like all the time. They said,
yeah.
um, so like I can't remember exactly why they said, but they said pyramids stopped getting built for like there was a certain reason, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it had something to do with like thievery or something, or maybe it was like we're just tired of building fucking pyramids. So they made like these like I want to call them caves. I'm not sure what they're called, but they made these like openings in the sand and then like into the ground or something like that. And this is like the burial site of other pharaohs, right?
Yeah.
And what's it called? All of them had been raided, and I can't remember who found this last one recently or the most recent one or whatever, but
Mm,
some like archaeologists or some shit like that or whatever the fuck they are, people that dig shit up and find them. Uh, he had found, I think, King Tut stuff, and if it wasn't that, it was, of course, like another pharaoh. But he found like I think chariots in there or something, or not chariots, but like the thing to like pull him or whatever, and uh, a ton of like solid gold items. I think they said something weighed like 25 pounds worth of gold. One of them,
hmm
like one piece, and like they were just saying like how like just riches on riches were buried there. So they were like showing that stuff off too.
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
Yeah. Did you know about the whole thing with King Tut as well, as to why he died pretty early?
Nah.
So basically he was a product of incest. So he had a lot of health problems.
Okay.
So like
That makes sense though too.
there was a thing that came out recently where like there was like somewhat accurate description of what he looked like, and like he had like 1 foot bigger than the rest, bigger than the other, like a bloated stomach, and like constant issues with his body, in which led to his death.
How young did he die? Apparently.
I don't know, because those times were wild. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Because
apparently, King or Pharaoh Ramsey or whatever, the second they were saying he made it to like 70.
yeah, I think Ramses might have been the oldest one, but yeah, like that was the whole issue with the pharaohs back in Egypt, was that like it was the whole thing of like the product of incest, because they wanted to
Yeah,
keep it in the bloodline.
it's a weird. I don't know. That shit's weird.
I mean, there was this thing that I saw about Habsburg. That's what they're called, Habsburg children. So you know how like there's a long line of Europeans with like big like underjaws.
Yeah.
So that I believe that they're called Habsburg children, and that's what they call royal bloodlines, or specifically it was the Habsburg family that just kept it in their circle. So throughout time was where you started to see a lot of the offspring have that large jaw like underneath, and that's why a lot of people equated to the fact that, oh, if they have a specific underbite like that, they're royalty. But it was actually a product of incest. So it's just like this whole weird thing, because I believe, yeah, the Habsburg, uh, I can only think of like the Spanish family, but I don't know if it's the Habsburgs of Spain. Well, hold on. I literally have the internet right next to me. Habsburg monarchy. Danubian. Okay, yeah. It's a big part of Europe. Oh, main region of the Czech people. Kingdom of Bohemia. Oh, okay. So yeah, Habsburg. There was a whole thing that I saw that I was like, oh yeah, that's what they're called, the Habsburg. Yeah, royal bloodline shit is really bizarre. It's really weird. Because then, what was it? Wasn't like the royal family in England like? Well, I think they're also somewhat products of incest as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
At some point they were.
Yeah. Eh. You got to marry your first cousin because you got to keep it within the family. Family. Don Don Dom Toretto would say, "Keep it in the family." Anything else?
So
Anything else?
weird.
Not just the History Channel thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, I'm sure there's more. I just don't remember.
I was gonna say, you learned any more facts you want to spit out there?
Uh,
I was really hoping after the Tutankhamun thing, you would be like, "Did you know pyramids are triangles?"
um, what's it called? Uh, Ramsey the second. I think they said. Oh no, fuck that one. There's a way better one. They were talking about this. Man, I can't remember what the fuck it's called. A lighthouse, man.
Mm-hmm.
There was this lighthouse, and I want to say like they were talking about the city of Alexandria or something like that.
Okay.
And this lighthouse had man, what are those things called? Uh, like magnifying glasses that would like bounce the light back and forth, or mirrors. I'm sorry. They had mirrors that would bounce the light back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, up to the top of the. This is one of their theories of how they had the light, and they said they would have three rotating discs on the top that would like magnify it and like shoot the light out.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, I don't know if they would have had that, but maybe they did. I would assume it's something that would have to do with fire.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
And they had these things though, these drawings of the tower, or I'm sorry, the lighthouse, and it was depicted as being able to shoot a beam of fire from the lighthouse to a ship and burn the ship.
Huh.
Now they said maybe this was possible, which is like really far fetched in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Which is I don't know anything about any of this really, but
Mm-hmm.
that sounds far fetched to me, at least back then. And then they were saying, but more realistically, like what probably happened is like they drew these pictures to deter people from coming here to this place that are evil, right? Like bad guys.
Yeah.
So they were like, it's probably more like propaganda, basically. But the insane thing is the height of this thing was like a skyscraper today, is what they said.
Damn.
That's what they were comparing it to.
Okay.
And I was just like, that's just wild. And then, and now it's in the fucking ocean because of an earthquake. They said. They said like at one point,
Yeah.
there was like one too many earthquakes, and like it just like these people at the city were able to see that shit like just crumble.
Damn. All that hard work gone.
It's either that or maybe it didn't happen while they were alive. I can't remember.
I mean,
Eventually, an earthquake hit it.
yeah, I mean, over time things just go in the water. That's how it is.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I like history shit like that. Okay, that sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel like watching some history shit.
Oh, I love that. I do like it.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. Did you watch All Quiet on the Western Front?
Fuck. No. I'll probably watch it this week.
Oh, you fool.
We're halfway through the week. I'll probably watch it between this week and next week.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. You good. What did I do? Besides cooler shenanigans working, what did I stream? Oh, the Resident Evil thing.
That was cool.
Shadows of Rose, that's what it was. Yeah. Good DLC. Pretty good. As an ending to, I guess, Ethan's story. Yeah, it's pretty good. The only thing I didn't like was that basically the ending cutscene is a rehash of the original cutscene of the game. But I guess it kind of adds a little bit more context to it. But yeah, still really fun. That fucking mannequin level, still, it got, oh my god, that was, it was fun. It was really fun, but I realized how
That
much,
shit had me laughing, dude.
because I was a little bitch for it. 'Cause I was
So
like,
you were running upstairs, and when you went the first time around and then came back, I knew there were gonna be more than one of them, and you walked backwards and ran into it, and you're like, ah!
I was expecting at least like 2, fucking 4 of them. But yeah, you can kind of like cheese it a little if you just stare at them, or keep them in like the field of your view. But man, that was cool. I have to say that was really cool. Especially bringing back that specific level from the original game and like doing something different with it, I think really adds to it. Yeah, but other than that, what else did I play on stream or play at all? I played Boris and the Dark Survival, which is the little mini game from the Bendy universe.
Oh, nice.
It's all right. As like a little mini game thing, it's not anything to really write home about because it is a randomly generated survival game, light survival game. Because essentially the whole like thing that you got to do in the game is go to a level, get some items, and then go back to your safe house and put back the items and rinse and repeat. The only thing of interest that really keeps you going a little bit is to get specific items like paper scraps, keys, and things like that to unlock some levels. And overall, it was, for the most part, pretty okay. Until maybe, because you kind of see me in the VOD where I kind of got, like, I looked like I was a little tired of the game because I was looking for, like, one specific item, which was paper scraps. And the problem is that they only appear in lockers, and the lockers are all random. So it's like going to a level. If the entire level does not have a paper scrap, fuck it. You got to go back, rinse and repeat, keep doing more levels in order for you to find the paper scrap. And then, like I said, I think it took me a total of like 3 hours and like 40 something minutes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, like, not to find the paper scraps, but like the whole VOD, though, like me playing the entire game was like 3 hours and 40 something. And
Oh, I thought that was just paper scrap. Okay.
No. I just want to clarify that. Like, but like, I think I spent like maybe an hour looking for that paper, not that specific paper scrap, but looking for paper scraps. But yeah, like I said, it is a random generated game, and it's okay. I think the reason why I played it was because I got the Bendy sequel, The Dark Revival, which I've been seeing really good reviews on it. That it's been coming out really positive, so that's great. So I'm probably gonna play that eventually on stream. But yeah, other than that, nothing too crazy. Oh, and I played the demo for Spoken.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm really hyped up for this game, to be honest.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, I like the flashiness of it. The story of the world seems pretty interesting because like the whole basis is you've been transported to another world where it's all fantasy and shit, and the cool aspect of it is like the the magical head figures, they're called Tantus, are all like women. Like they're all cool witch women. But over the years they started to get more corrupt, so it's up to you to stop them. And I think, oh, that seems pretty cool. Down with the matriarchy. uh, but overall, playing the game, the movement feels good. Running around feels pretty good. Climbing up walls, more or less. But the actual fighting is kind of a mixed bag for me because like it feels a little similar to uh Final Fantasy 15, but they kind of degraded the combat because all you're doing is pressing the triggers. You have your attack and you have your support, and the attack stuff is like you're either holding down the right trigger or you're tapping it, and then I don't know, like the combat doesn't feel weighty, you know what I'm saying? And like it just feels like you're just hitting sponges. And then the
Yeah.
support stuff is kind of cool because like the magic stuff is pretty neat, and like it is very flashy like I said, but like overall it just does not feel like you're really doing anything. Um and like I don't want to make a huge I don't want to make a huge comparison because it's like it's not a Devil May Cry game where it's like you're doing sick ass combat and sick ass combos and things like that, but like the combat itself for this game is just like something I'm not really like, you know, resonating with.
Yeah.
So I'll probably wait till that game goes on sale, maybe. But I don't think I'm gonna play it right away. And that was also the other thing is that like your main character is from New York, and I don't know how I feel about the interaction with her and her gauntlet because that's the character that talks to you the entire time. That's your buddy. And like the entire time as like I'm playing the game and you're running with the gauntlet, your main character Frey, I think her name is interacting with the gauntlet, and like she just like is so mean to the gauntlet. Like the gauntlet's trying to help you out. It's trying to be your bud, and like you're just like being a dick to it for no reason. It's really weird, man.
It's because New York.
Yeah, you know, New Yorkers gotta be like, no, fuck you, magical gauntlet. You don't know
Hey,
shit.
magical gauntlet. I'm walking.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Gauntlet with your bullshit. Forget about it. Come on, fuck off. And it's like, all right, we get it, Frey. All right, you're from New York. You gotta be mean to Gauntlet.
Gabagool gauntlet, you know?
Yeah, fucking get out of here with your bullshit. Fucking, I don't know, New York.
Dead ass B.
Yeah, dead ass B. I was really hoping for her to say dead ass B, but fortunately no. Yeah, it's a weird one for me. That demo is a weird one. Like the open world is actually kind of cool because of how big and vast it is. But like I said, I'm not really like hyped up for the game as much as I would like to be, because seeing the initial stuff for it, I'm like, oh, it looks pretty cool because of like obviously the movement. That like when that trailer came out of the game of like when you're moving around, I'm like, oh, that looks really cool. And then actually playing it, I'm like, oh yeah, the moving around feels pretty good, but the actual fighting doesn't really do anything for me. It's funny because I think I mentioned on stream as well is that like I'm more excited for Final Fantasy 16 because that is crazy action combat because it is what is it? I think one of the combat lead designers worked on Devil May Cry 5, so it's like,
oh man,
it's gonna be cool, crazy action combat where you're doing.
Are we gonna pick up Red Souls?
I hope so. And they're all screaming. They all have weird screaming faces. And
Can
it's
we
like,
buy them for the $1.99?
Yeah, and then can we, I don't know, get sick ass gauntlets and do kickboxing moves? That would be cool.
Add Destiny guns in.
Yeah, put gun in Final Fantasy. I mean, they technically have put guns in Final Fantasy, but that's besides the point. Yeah, Forspoken. I'm trying to think anything else that I've played. So I've mentioned before I got new computer parts. So basically, what I've been doing is just playing games that I've already played that run better on computer. Because I purchased some stuff at this point. I purchased Evil West. I don't know if you've seen gameplay for that.
No.
Okay, so Evil West, a lot of people were comparing it to like 360 action game, like an Xbox PS3 action game where it's just dumb fun. But yeah, I bought it and I haven't started it up because I'm thinking maybe stream game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just a bunch of stuff I've just been seeing on my Steam library that I just haven't touched that I'm probably gonna just mess around with, or I have played already on a console but want to see it run better. Today I was just playing The Witcher 3 because the next gen update came out for it. It was going pretty well until I exit out the game and I try to restart it, and the game was like, all right, I'll start up. Want to go to your last save file? I was like, yes. And then the game just crashed. And that keeps happening. And I'm like, oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, the next gen update came out, I think, yesterday. And it looks good. Like obviously they did a pretty good job with like some of the ray tracing and stuff like that, but yeah, the game crashes for me, which is kind of unfortunate. Hope they worked out some of the kinks, because I was looking on forums and shit like that to see if like I'm not the only one having this problem, but yeah, apparently it is a problem that some people are having, that the game just exit out. I also bought Cyberpunk on PC. And man, does that shit look really good on PC.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it looks so fucking good. Yeah, because I was just finishing up like some of the side missions and shit like that, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I kind of want to replay this game on PC, like redo the whole story to see how it works, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed if I do it, like I don't have that same bug that I had on fucking PS5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that whole shit. But man, like I did the benchmarking for this shit with like ray tracing on my hardware, and like it keeps around around 70 to 90 frames per second with like ultra settings of ray tracing on, and I'm like, this is good. This is really good. It looks really, really fucking good. Yeah, Cyberpunk is another one. And you know, anything else? Oh, Spider-Man. I bought Spider-Man from PC. That also looks really good.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh god.
I think the main one would have the biggest difference would be Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk, yeah, is a huge difference, because there is ray tracing mode on the PS5, but you have to run it at 30 frames. But Spider-Man looks really fucking good. Because I have like the reflections and shit on, and then just like going on a building and seeing Spider-Man's reflection, I'm just like, that's good. That's some good shit.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man overall is a very good game. And it's funny because I got 100% in the on the PS4 version, and playing this on PC just opens up a completely different experience, because it runs obviously at 60 or higher, and everything just looks really good visually, and it's just wild that game still holds up even on PS4, but to have that added details and things like that on PC it just adds more to it, and I'm like, I kind of want to go through Spider-Man again. Obviously before Spider-Man 2 comes out on PS5, and the Wolverine
2023.
2023.
Spider-Man 2093.
Yeah, 29. Oh, that reminds me, the trailer for fucking Spider-Verse came out. Yeah, that shit looks cool. Fucking 20. Speaking of Spider-Man 2099, looks fucking dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, back to video games. What else? Oh, that reminds me. When I got my processor, I got a free copy of Uncharted 4 on PC.
Oh.
Wild playing that game with an Xbox controller. It's
Oh
just
shit! I didn't think about that.
you can. I think you could technically play it with the DualSense, but you got to connect it to the computer. But I played a little bit of Uncharted 4. I'm like, it runs really good. Yeah, it feels weird going back to an Uncharted game, and I'm playing it, and I'm like, I kind of miss Uncharted, to be honest. And yeah, I played a little bit of it. I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to go back to the old Uncharted games, play through those, and then play the PC version of Uncharted 4 because like, just it's good. That's all it is. It's funny, yeah. Death Stranding is also another one that I have had on PC because I got it for cheap, and I've been playing a little bit of that, and I'm like, also runs really good. Yeah, just old shit that I'm just replaying. What else? PC stuff. Yeah, nothing else. I've kind of been eyeing High on Life because apparently that's gotten good reviews.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad that's PC and Xbox, bro.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
I'm kind of eyeing that. Like I said, I've been seeing that it's gotten good reviews. Apparently there was a toggle for like the guns to stop talking. So like,
oh,
okay, I guess if they get excessively annoying for some people, but I don't know. And then the Crisis Core remake came out, or remaster.
Yeah.
That came out. I haven't bought it yet, but like, maybe that might be a stream thing at some point. Because I actually do want to play the Final Fantasy VII DLC that came out like a while ago, the Yuffie DLC. Because I haven't streamed that. Yeah, that's basically it. On my PS5, I barely played anything because I've been futzing around with my fucking PC. But yeah, that's basically it. Oh, and the Evil Within. I've been replaying the Evil Within, the first one. I don't know why. Not a bad game. Pretty alright. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people play it.
Yeah, the Evil Within is a weird one because it's like it was trying to be the spiritual successor to Resident Evil 4, but I don't know. It's like the story is goofy. The gameplay is kind of okay, but I think the reason why I really wanted to replay The Evil Within was because I saw this video from this guy on YouTube called Snam Witches, which his whole videos are like him trying to get like the hardest achievement in like games that he decided in, and one of them was Evil Within, and the achievement was for beating the game on Akumu mode, which is the hardest difficulty in the game, which is like one hit kill. And like I'm watching him play it, and like he's having fun with it. Like I kind of like him playing games because like he's very positive in like a lot of his games, and or a lot of his videos, excuse me, and he's just having fun with it, but like you can see that like he's died so many times, and like that trophy looks ridiculous to get because like I said, there's moments in the game that I'm playing and I'm like, how the fuck do you do this? Like, I'm dying and I'm like not playing this on Akumu mode. Like it's not one hit kill for me. Like it can get kind of tough. And in Snamwich's videos, there's one specific chapter where if you die, there's no checkpoint and you have to kind of like go back from the beginning, and it's like, damn, that kind of sucks. And it's a rough area because it's like enclosed and you're fighting off a bunch of enemies while you're waiting for a door to unlock. So it's like you're on a timer and you gotta wait for this shit and you gotta avoid all these enemies, and I think resources are kind of limited. So yeah, Evil Within is a weird one. It's a weird game. I liked Evil Within 2, but I gotta replay that because like now I'm seeing people talk about Evil Within 2 not being a good game as 1. I'm like, this is weird. Because I remember Evil Within 2 was like, from the people who played Evil Within 1 were saying 2 is better. But I don't know, man. Yeah, Evil Within, fun. So yeah, that's it for games. You know, just playing around with my computer. Um, Now as for shit that I watched, movies and things like that, I watched a couple things. I don't think I mentioned this on last episode. No, because it's been 2 weeks. So I watched a couple things. I watched Eraser, which is a Schwarzenegger movie. It's a really dumb movie, but enjoyable. If you're looking for an action Schwarzenegger movie, essentially the premise is Arnold Schwarzenegger is a guy who does witness protection things. Like if someone's identity has been blown, he basically gets them out of that situation and like relocates them. So he's an eraser.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the plot just goes into an incredibly stupid direction. Because I think the main thing is like he has to protect this lady who knows government secrets about like weapons that could be like sold to terrorists, and then it just goes off from there. It's really stupid, but I kind of enjoyed it. What else did I watch? I watched this Gerard Butler movie called The Vanishing on Netflix as well. Which is based on a mystery that happened in Scotland, about a lighthouse shit. Good movie. I liked it. I really liked it. Essentially, Gerard Butler and two other guys are lighthouse keepers, and they find a body, and the body had on its boat like this treasure box. So basically, this treasure box.
Hold up. What was this on?
Netflix.
I'm gonna take my headset off real quick. Keep talking.
Oh, okay.
I wanna watch this.
What, The Vanishing?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Oh, you're gonna watch it right now?
No. I'm gonna take my headset off so that I
can hear it.
You talk about the rest of it.
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back in 2 seconds.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna really spoil it, but like basically the premise is like these guys have this MacGuffin, which is this treasure box, and it kind of goes off from there, where it's like things happen afterwards.
Got back.
Okay. Yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was pretty good. The acting was really solid. The captain, I forget the actor's name. Hold on, let me find this dude. His voice, Peter Mullen, that's who he is. He has a very distinct voice. It's like Scottish and like very deep, and like I can listen to this dude like read an audiobook, and I'm just like, man, that's a good ass voice. And it's funny because like I'm watching this movie and I'm like, what else did the director do? Like, is there any other movies he has? And he doesn't really have anything. He doesn't have anything crazy. Like, he's done some what is it? Mostly Dutch movies. Yeah, Danish, excuse me. But like The Vanishing was like, yeah, was a really really good movie. And then what else did I watch? I watched 2 Takeshi Kitano movies, because I mentioned Hanabi last episode. I watched Violent Cop and Sonatine.
These names, man. It's got to be a Japanese movie.
Yeah, Takeshi Kitano is Japanese.
Yeah.
But yeah, Violent Cop. He's a violent cop.
It's just, is this just poor translation, or are they actually? That's the
actual title. Yeah, that's the actual title. Is Violent Cop, and that's what you get. You get a violent cop.
Stop.
The reason why I wanted to watch this is because this is his first breakout movie. Because Hanabi was like a movie that came out a little bit afterwards, but Violent Cop was like the movie that a lot of people were like, "Yo, this guy can actually fucking edit, write, and direct his movies."
Didn't you say something about Violent Cop last time.
Did I?
I don't think you said you watched it. I think you like.
Oh, I wanted to watch it. Yes,
Yeah.
I wanted to watch it, so I watched it. It's a good breakout movie. I think it's one of his best movies so far that I've seen. Like, I really liked Hanabi, but
I was asking you a dumb question. Subtitles, right?
Yeah, subtitles.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you hate them.
No, I don't mind. I mean, if it's a good movie, it's worth watching.
It is actually genuinely really good. The premise, obviously, you got a violent cop. But it's interesting because like Takeshi Kitano always puts himself as like the protagonist because like he also acts in his movies. And there's something about his presence where it's like you see this dude and you like he just looks rough. Like he just looks like worn down and like tired of people's shit all the time. But that's a hilarious thing is like this dude is a comedian. And like the shit that he writes is like dark.
Yeah.
That is the wild thing is that like I think that also encapsulates the fact that comedians can write good non-comedic shit at times. They can go to dark places. Mm-hmm. So like seeing his movies, Hanabi was a beautiful movie, but it's also very dark. Violent Cop is a gritty, dark movie that like is just like I didn't know where the premise was gonna go. Obviously from the title, because all I thought it was gonna be like a character piece of like almost like Bad Lieutenant, if you ever seen that movie. Essentially, Bad Lieutenant is Harvey Keitel as a bad lieutenant, and it's just a character piece where it's just like you follow this dude's everyday life of him being a corrupt cop. And I thought that was going to be the exact same thing for Violent Cop, where it's just like it's an everyday thing for this guy, seeing him be a violent piece of shit.
Violent Cop and Bad Lieutenant.
So that's the thing is that like he's an asshole. In Violent Cop, he's an asshole. He's supposed to be an asshole. You're not supposed to like connect with him, even though he is a cop and he's someone you're supposed to trust. He's an asshole. But he has specific moments of humanity when he interacts with his sister, because they kind of have this whole thing with his sister where they talk about that she was in a what is it called? She was in a mental hospital. So he has this connection with his sister, trying to ensure that she has a better life so she doesn't end up back in the mental hospital. But then there is an actual plot that happens, I want to say like somewhat midway, almost midway towards the movie, where like this is the plot. This is what's going to happen for the rest of the movie. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's good. Like it's actually good. I don't want to spoil it because like Violent Cop I feel like is a movie that a lot of people should see like as someone's first directorial debut. It's very good. It's like almost like Quentin Tarantino where like people talk about Reservoir Dogs, where it's like that's his breakout movie. And it's like, yeah, it's good. And then the other movie is Sonatine, which is a Yakuza movie. Because Takeshi Kitano is a Yakuza man in that one. That movie is more interesting because it feels a little more abstract because of its editing and like the way some characters react to certain things, where it just doesn't feel human. But then you kind of have to think about it from their perspective as well, which is like these are people who are essentially bad guys who've probably killed people. So sometimes they just don't react to when a person dies. But overall, the premise for Sonatine is Takeshi Kitano is a Yakuza. His clan is asked by the head of his Yakuza clan to go to Okinawa to be a mediator for two rival clans and basically ensure that a truce happens. But once he gets there, he realizes that basically it was a setup. But the interesting part of the movie is that they go into hiding for like a good 45-50 minutes, and it's just them fucking around on a beach at their hideout. It's just like, all right, I guess. And then like it's not until like the end of like near the end of the movie where it's like, all right, let's go back to actually get our vengeance. It's like it's so weird. But that was also a good movie. It's also a very dark ending as well. But yeah, the dark movies Takeshi Kitano does, and I do want to see the rest of his the movies that he's worked on. Because I've seen his other Yakuza movies, Outrage, and they're okay. The first one I enjoyed, but like the sequels afterwards just felt so convoluted because everybody was like double crossing each other. It was just like one of these movies where it's like really hard to keep up because like so many things happen either on screen or off screen, and it's just like I don't know. But the first Outrage movie is pretty good. So yeah, Takeshi Kitano, watched his movies, probably gonna watch some more of his stuff, but really, really recommend Violent Cop. I really recommend it. And then after that, I watched the Netflix series 1899. What do you know about 1899?
I don't know.
That's right, nothing. So I was excited for 1899 because it's by the writers of Dark.
Okay.
Dark is the German Netflix show that's on there. I don't want to say too much because they're obviously building up to another season of the show.
What, Dark?
Excuse me, not Dark. 1899.
Did they finish Dark?
Dark is done. Yeah. Dark
I
has
watched like season 1. I don't think I watched anything further.
Yeah, I finished. I think it's like 4 seasons.
Okay.
But I'm one of those people that actually really liked Dark's ending. And like the way it goes because that show is incredibly trippy. 1899 is also as trippy as Dark, but I would say as this first season goes, I'm trying to remember the first season of Dark, but I don't really remember it as much. This particular season of 1899 is pretty good, but the only criticism I have is that the show starts off really, really slow because it tries to build up a lot of the characters that you're with. So the premise of 1899 is this ship that is crossing the Atlantic, that's an immigrant ship, essentially has all these passengers on board from different countries, from Europe specifically, and they are headed to New York, in America. So the first episode builds up the fact that 4 months ago, another immigrant ship went missing, in which, as they're passing the ocean, that ship is sending out, that missing ship is sending out a signal that they pick up, and the captain of the ship that we're with. So basically, the ship that went missing 4 months ago is called the Prometheus, and the ship that we're on with our characters is called the Kerberos. So the Kerberos picks up the transmission from the Prometheus saying that, you know, it's an SOS. So they're like, okay, let's go see if people are still alive in the ship that's been stranded in the ocean for 4 months. Who knows if anybody might still be alive. So they find the ship. They realize that everybody in the ship has just disappeared except for a little boy. And this little boy, for some reason, has this weird pyramid thing, and he does not talk. And that is basically the setup of the entire show. It's just like, what the fuck happened to this other ship? Who is this little boy? What's going to happen later on in the show? But like I said...
What does his pyramid thing do?
Exactly. What is the build up to the pyramid thing?
Is he... Yugi?
Oh, could he be a pharaoh? Is it time to duel?
It might be time to duel dogs.
It's yeah, it gets really trippy. I feel like it might be something that it's a show that you really have to pay attention to. Because of it being so fucking trippy. But how it ends, I feel like could be really interesting. You know, as I lead up for the next season, but my only issue is that like they build up a lot of stuff for other characters that you're supposed to care about, but when you get to the final episode, it kind of gets washed away because of how it ends. I don't want to get too spoiler heavy into it, but I just want to get that across that like the beginning of the show starts off really, really slow because it's trying to build up to the mystery while also making you understand some of the characters that you're with, a lot of the immigrant passengers that you're with. Because you're with mostly this French guy who has like this weird past. Everybody essentially on the show has a weird past. But the one standout I want to say that I really enjoy the fact that this show I was watching a little bit of the making of for the show, and there was a little thing where the casting director asked the director of this show, because he was the director of Dark, would you like to bring anybody back from Dark to do this series? And he's like, yeah, I have the perfect person. And do you remember Dark at all?
No.
Oh, damn it. Do you remember the stranger that shows up in Dark? The guy in the trench coat? Okay.
No.
Okay. So basically,
sorry.
it's all right, because like that character is also really good in Dark. So basically in Dark there was this character called the Stranger. Later on you find out his identity in the show. But that guy was just so interesting because he had such a presence as well. So they brought him back for 1899, and it was such a good choice because he plays the captain of that ship, and like he's a really good actor. And I'm like, I haven't seen him in like anything else besides Dark, and I really liked him in Dark. But I haven't really seen him in anything else, and he's really good in that show as well in 1899. He's also kind of a dilf. Not gonna lie, not gonna front. He's got dilf, German dilf. Uh, but yeah, everybody in that cast is really solid. Like everybody is very good in that show. But yeah, I really recommend watching the making of after you watch the show, if you ever watch it. Because that making of is just straight up spoilers. That making of is just like, you already seen the ending? All right, let's talk about the ending. And yeah, they talk about the cast and like how everybody is like from different countries or different parts of the world. You know, they have people speaking Spanish, you have people speaking Portuguese, Danish, Chinese, French, and obviously English. Oh, and German as well. And what was it? Yeah, and I think the other aspect of the making of was that was interesting was that this show was in production during COVID. So there was like a whole interesting part of that thing where they talk about like regulations and where they can shoot, and you know, things that are like trying to like work with COVID guidelines. So what they ended up doing was, for some scenes, you know how like in The Mandalorian, what they used was like this giant like almost semicircular screen with like 3D backgrounds and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So they used that same method in 1899, and it's like, oh, that's how they got that shot. And it's like it's really interesting what they did during the production of the show. Yeah, I got to finish the rest of that, but overall 1899 is pretty good. I gotta wait until it's actually fully complete to actually compare it to Dark, because like I said, I really liked Dark. As crazy as Dark goes, I still really think that it finished really strong, and where it goes was really strong as well. But yeah, Dark, man, I keep thinking about that show too. So yeah, I was obviously excited for 1899, and yeah, for the most part, not disappointed. And yeah, that was basically it for what I watched on the Netflix and the movies. So, do you want to get into the news, or do you want to take a break?
Take a quick break, real quick.
Okay, so we gonna be right back. All right, we're back. News? Yeah, that's right. That's what
Oh
we're
yeah,
doing.
news.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Word.
We're doing news. All right. So before we get into the Game Awards stuff, I do want to talk about some of these news things that have happened in the course of the week that we missed out on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I just want to get these across. The Diablo thing, I think, is part of the Game
Yeah, no,
Awards
I remember
thing.
that.
Yeah. So we can
I had seen that before the Game Awards did it, so that's
yeah,
why I
yeah,
sent it in.
yeah. So yeah, that was before Game Awards. But these other main ones, I think we can start with the inflation for Microsoft. So in
Oh yeah, yeah.
2023, Microsoft is bumping up their first party games. Jesus, my hair. Hold on. They're bumping up their first party games to $70. So get hyped for that, I guess. But their whole reasoning is almost the exact same as Sony's, where it's like, oh, because games are getting a little bit more complex and complicated, and we need to, you know, boost our budget for specific games, and make more money out of this. Essentially, they're bumping up to $70 for most first party titles. I mean, it was to be expected. The only other person that hasn't done it yet is Nintendo, which they're probably gonna do once they whatever new console that they have, because it's Nintendo. But yeah, $70 is now the new norm, unfortunately. And speaking of Microsoft as well, Phil Spencer has come out in a tweet he put out saying that Microsoft has entered a 10-year commitment to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo and Steam. After they've closed the merger with Activision Blizzard. This is interesting because there was a thing that also happened where the Federal Trade Commission is suing Microsoft for the acquisition. So
Are they?
yeah, you can find that right now. FTC Microsoft.
Wow.
Yeah, they're actively trying to block the acquisition, which is wild. Because they believe, I read a little bit of it from the FTC website actually, where they were talking about how it is what is it? It's not anti-consumer. It's like anti-competitive. That's what it is. Because of Microsoft purchasing so many studios that to a degree, it's not making any competition because Microsoft. From the Federal Trade Commission's viewpoint, they believe that Microsoft already has a big hand in their game. But this is interesting because of the fact that there are so many other companies that own so many things. Look at Embracer Group, and then look at NetEase and Tencent.
So the only reason I think they're doing it or saying something about them owning too much is because they're specifically a console seller as well.
So that's that's also the biggest thing, is because of the fact that, well, not only that, is like Activision is a very big, like, you never really thought about it, but like they're a very big gaming publisher, developer / developer. But like it's crazy to think that like a good amount of like the early 2000s was like Activision games. And even to now, like they still have their service games, so like Overwatch, Diablo Immortal, so like that is still making a lot more money. But it's just wild to think that this is kind of the point where this might be the blocking point for Microsoft in acquiring that studio. So that was a thing that happened in the week as well, where the FTC is just like, nah, you can't, we don't want you to have this. Can't have you. You're disrupting competition. All because of Call of Duty, baby. Just because Sony was like, but they have Call of Duty. We don't have Call of Duty. And it's like, all right.
How are we supposed to compete?
How are we supposed to compete with the biggest selling game of all time, the Call of Duty? But yeah, it's like I said, because of that, Phil Spencer came out with this tweet saying that they're entering a 10-year commitment with Nintendo and Steam. But there was also a thing where they wanted to have this 10-year commitment with Sony, and Sony declined because they didn't want that. So that is kind of where this is kind of stemming from, is that like they don't want to agree to a commitment that can be up in 10 years or can be revoked, depending if the contract is written up that way. But I don't know, man. Like this is where everything kind of gets really goofy, and I don't know to this point because of the fact that like so many developers have been acquired by different big corporations. So it's like, to a degree, would this be any different to the rest of that shit? You know, we have like obviously Embracer Group grabbing up everything that they can. Even Sony's doing that as well with other companies. So I don't know. It's not as big as Microsoft, because Microsoft's whole like branch of whatever the fuck they have is a lot bigger. But yeah, I really don't know to this degree. So that's what basically has happened in that week, is FTC probably gonna bring this shit down, maybe. And Phil Spencer talking about 10-year commitments, and Call of Duty on Nintendo, which is it
was on Nintendo before.
On the Wii, yeah, there were Call of Duty games on the Wii and the Wii U, because I remember Black Ops 2 on the Wii U. Yeah, I always forgot about that.
Yeah.
So Call of Duty, you love Call of Duty? You better.
Terrible.
Okay. Well, speaking of terrible and Nintendo, so this was a thing that happened. This is kind of a rabbit hole to go into, but I'll probably give the TLDR from what I've gotten. So there was a planned Smash tournament that was going to happen this year, from Video Game Boot Camp, that they were planning on doing the Smash World Tour. Unfortunately, it got shut down. So this Smash World Tour, I remember there were big talks about it, because I believe the streamer Ludwig was a big part of this. So yeah, they were planning this Smash tournament. That was a $250,000 event. But it got shut down. It got canceled, essentially. And the reason why is because Nintendo has already come to an agreement with a different business, also known as Panda Global. For those that don't know about Panda Global is a sponsorship team that is in the fighting game community. So that's why at Evo you see specific players having sponsorships, whether it be Red Bull or Panda or I think Mad Catz was also one of them as well. But Panda is a big one. Panda, some of the players is like Justin Wong, for example, Kizzy K. You know, these are names I'm spitting out, but Justin Wong is a very well-known fighting game player. A lot of people know Justin Wong from Evo Moment 37, where he gets fully parried in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. You know, that kind of leads to that moment specifically. But Justin Wong is a very, very well-known fighting game player. But yeah, Panda Global basically got the rights from Nintendo to make any tournaments involving Smash. So this is where it kind of leads to the whole situation with Video Game Boot Camp, where they're like, yo, like, we tried contacting you and stuff like that, Nintendo, and for some reason you wouldn't, like, you were okay with it, and now you're revoking it. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But Nintendo's like, oh yeah, but we feel like, essentially their whole gist was like, what was it? It was essentially one of the bullshit statements was like, they believe that the whole event for the Smash World Tour was not within COVID guidelines and stuff like that. On top of that, Nintendo already went into a deal with Panda Global to have this Smash tournament. And this kind of puts Panda Global into a really bad light, because of the fact that they've been essentially going around to ensure that other places don't do any other Smash tournaments, to only have broadcasting rights for their tournament. So it's gotten to the point where like it's like kind of evil-ish.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically the CEO of Panda Global, Dr. Alan Bunny, which is his fighting game moniker. Yeah, a lot of people were talking about how like this guy has been going around to ensure that like anybody who plans an event shuts it down immediately. Because he wants Panda to have the rights to everything Smash for the year. Even to a point where Video Game Bootcamp can't even have an event for next year. So this has led to a lot of negative overview for all this, because this obviously paints Panda in a really bad light, and this also paints Nintendo in a really bad light as well, because Nintendo hasn't been a very kind company to its community, specifically for Smash Brothers, let alone for any other game. There was a whole thing that happened where there was a community event for a Nuzlocke playthrough of Pokemon, and Nintendo got reached out to I believe either the people who were streaming it or Game Freak, to be like, oh yeah, we're holding a Nuzlocke event. And Nintendo's like, what's that? And it's like, oh, it's basically if your Pokemon dies, it dies. So the weird dinosaur brain Nintendo had was like, wait, you're modifying the game? You can't do that with our games. And it's like, no. We're not like rewriting any programming in it. We're just, it's a thing you do physically, you know? You know how Nuzlocks work, right?
Yeah.
So it's essentially like nothing gets modified except you actually just playing the game. Like that's what it is. But Nintendo didn't understand that. So they were trying to pull that broadcast being like, you can't modify our games. And it's like, what? It's a Nuzlocke. Like, nothing is being changed. On top of that, we've bought the game. It's not like it's a pirated version of the game. It's our copy of the game, so we can do whatever the fuck we want. So yeah, there was a whole ordeal with that shit. On top of that, most Smash events, from what I've seen, have always been like taken down by Nintendo, because Nintendo's like, no, you don't have licensing rights for this game. And this has been always the issue with Nintendo when it comes to anything competitive wise. Oh my god, there was even the fucking Splatoon thing, because I think somebody was trying to set up a Splatoon tournament, and Nintendo was like, no, we're gonna start our own licensed Splatoon tournament. And everybody was like, really? You're gonna do that? Oh, what? So yeah, Nintendo overall, I think without a doubt, does not like their community as like at all. And it's kind of unfortunate because, like, you know, people love their games, but Nintendo is just like the dick that's like, no, you can't play that anymore, and taking away your rights of playing that, or let alone broadcasting it. Oh, this was another example when Nintendo fucking wanted playthrough rights of people on YouTube, where they were putting down like strikes on people's YouTube accounts for playing Nintendo games, because Nintendo was trying to offer this partnership service to people playing Nintendo games, being like, we take a bit of the cut that you make of your playthroughs. And people were like, no, fuck you, I'm not doing that. It's like, because I just want to play a Zelda game or a Pokemon game, you think you have the free right for a game that I bought, you know, with my own money, that I'm just playing and showing other people that like it is a game that I enjoy or play, and you think that, oh, I kind of want a bit of that cut. I want to take a little bit of that. So I
remember that from a while ago.
Yeah, and then they stopped, but now they're still doing like copyright strikes and shit like that.
The tournament stuff's weird. I did hear about the Nuzlocke thing too. Yeah, that was interesting, because they also said something about it feeling like it's cheating. They were like, it's cheating.
It's cheating. It's like, no, it isn't.
Yeah, it has. It's literally just a different view of the game
Exact.
for
Yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah, and like Nuzlocke does not involve anything of like like software modifying the game. It's just the game, but you're just doing something different, like controlling wise. It's very bizarre, but like that's been the whole issue with Nintendo is that like Nintendo has like this weird backwards like view of like their games and things like that. It's very bizarre.
Yeah.
So I guess back to this whole thing about the Panda and Nintendo thing. So basically, overall, this has been basically
That shit sounds crazy.
it's been just a pointing contest of like who can give the most blame to, because Video Game Boot Camp points at Nintendo while Nintendo points at Panda, while Panda points at Video Game Boot Camp, and Video Game Boot Camp has to point back to Panda, and Panda points back to Nintendo. It's just this whole fucking crazy thing. It's gotten to even more absurdity where Panda came out with a statement basically saying that, you know, we don't want any harassment for our team and this and that, basically trying to play the victim card in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, and also talking about how, you know, their agreement with Nintendo is valid and things like that, but you know, it brings it, like I said, it puts Panda in a really bad light because what they've been doing is something incredibly scummy, which is trying to find events that were going to happen and basically trying to shut them down, acting as if they were the voice of Nintendo, like the exclusive holders of Smash, which is the crazy thing. But still, Nintendo has this problem of miscommunication where Video Game Boot Camp wanted to get a license for this thing, and Nintendo for some reason was just not allowing it. But I believe it's because of the fact that Panda already paid off Nintendo and they got the rights to it. And yeah, it just led to this whole situation.
Did they only get the rights to Smash though?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it's kind of led to the point where I don't know if they're even I think they canceled this tournament as well. The Panda tournament. And it's gotten so bad that members of Panda have left. They've left their sponsorship because they're like, yo, if our shit is doing this, something incredibly scummy to the fighting game community, there's no point in staying with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was also another thing where the CEO, Alan Bunny, stepped down, but I feel that it's more like a symbolic gesture more than anything. Because the real question is whether or not he has any stock in Panda. So it's like he still makes money out of it regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really wild thing, but it kind of goes to show that like Nintendo has just been awful at like anything competitive wise or anything involving their games. Like they just are incredibly ass backwards when it comes to like anything community wise. Yeah, so this was the wild shit that happened over the week. So yeah, moving on from that, more wild shit. So you would think he would live and learn, but he did not. Yuji Naka has been rearrested. Come on, Yuji. Come on. Do you want to know why he got arrested again?
Wasn't it the same thing at a different company or something, or for a different game?
It's a different game.
Yeah.
So we talked about it last time that Yuji Naka was arrested for insider trading for Dragon Quest Tact mobile game. This time he has been rearrested because new allegations came up, and more evidence came out for him buying stock in Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier. That was a battle royale mobile game, if you remember.
Yeah, yeah.
So he bought stock in that, and basically he bought that through insider trading. And here we go again. Yuji Naka can never live and learn, unlike Sonic. This man has got to stop. he has to stop with the insider trading.
I mean, I would assume if he's done it twice, there's probably a lot more.
There's probably yeah. There's probably another time, and it's
especially if they're finding older shit, you know.
yeah. And this is also the hilarious thing is that like it's all at Square Enix, and my thing is you remember that whole thing we talked about Balan Wonderland about how he was taken off the project like 6 months before release.
Yeah,
I'm starting to have speculations that maybe they wanted to take him off because they probably people at Square Enix probably realized that he was doing some shady shit over there.
That's fair.
So, that's my hypothesis. But like, 2 games, both from Square Enix, and this man has been caught doing insider trading with them. So, I don't know. Starts to look really sus. But
That's so weird.
yeah, man, he's gonna get arrested a 3rd time for something else.
What if he did insider trading and still did poorly on it? Would he still have to go to jail? What if he lost all his money? Is it okay?
The judge is like, you made Balan Wonderworld or
Yeah.
Wonderland, and you just lost money. You're not going to jail. Can you imagine? Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna be. I would assume for like most white collar crimes in Japan, I don't know. He's probably gonna spend a good while in jail, but still, if they found a second thing, then it looks bad for him already. Like the insider trading shit looked bad, but a second time looks even worse. So I guess there won't be a sequel.
What do you think? Maybe 5 years most?
Probably 5, 6. Yeah, maybe with good time, like good behavior, maybe like 3.
I know having cocaine is 5 to 15, so.
Yeah, Japan's laws are wild. Japan, like,
No, that's like Brazil, I think.
Oh no, Japan's law is also wild. Like
Well, I was gonna say I would assume cocaine over in Japan or
drugs
drugs would probably be way
drugs
harsher.
drugs are way harsher. So you want to know the weird comparison that happened with an example with drugs in Japan? So there was a actor that was in the video game Judgment that got blacklisted because he was caught with cocaine. Okay. He got blacklisted to the point where Judgment actually had to be delayed because of the fact that they rearranged the guy's face in the game to make him look like a different person. It's still the same voice. It's still the same voice of the actor, but the face has just been modified.
Yeah.
And the crazy part of that was that I think the guy got blacklisted. I think he got some. I don't think he went to jail, but I think he got some time. But what was happening at the exact same time was the author of Rurouni Kenshin. Did you know about this?
No.
So, do you know what Rurouni Kenshin is? Or Rurouni Kenshin? Rurouni Kenshin is a very well-known manga in Japan where it's basically a samurai manga. It was very popular in the 90s. To a degree where like people talk about like the top mangas and stuff like that, or the top animes, and like Rurouni Kenshin is kind of like up there. So this happened almost around the same time as the Judgment shit, where the author of Rurouni Kenshin was found with evidence of child pornography.
Jesus.
And he didn't get time for that. Instead, he was used as like an informant for like other weird child predators and stuff like that. Because he knew people like that. So, like I said, there's weird shit that happens in Japan where it's just like, I don't think he saw jail time, the Rurouni Kenshin author. Yeah. That was a rough one.
That's so weird.
It is very weird because everybody was like, this guy not selling drugs, using drugs, got into more trouble and had his career essentially die out because of him just using a drug at his own leisure. While you have this other guy whose career I think he's still making the manga. I don't know if he's still making manga, but like his career is still somewhat intact. But his crime is even worse.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's people in America, it's the same thing, that are in jail for like weed possession.
Yeah,
It's
menial
like
menial
almost
shit.
legal everywhere.
S-
It's like
I don't want to get too political on this
no,
because
yeah.
yeah, but like there, when people voted
It's
for
just wild the differences between crimes and like
yeah, and
how
like
drugs are always
now
it feels like drugs are overcharged.
now in New York, it's like there's been so many dudes who've been caught for weed, and it's just like now in New York, it's like nothing. It's like weed is not like the biggest offensive drug, and like there are still people in fucking jail. There are people in fucking Rikers that were drug dealers that only probably sold weed, and it's like
Yep.
they're in like a maximum security prison for selling weed. Yeah, man,
That's just fucking insane.
yeah. I think that's wild. That the fact that it's just like we've gotten to the point where like these guys should just be let out. Like that's what I think. If their crime is only just selling weed, let them out. Let them go start a dispensary. It's crazy, man. It's weird. And that's the thing is that like I was in the city for a little bit, and like I'm just seeing like a dispensary on like every corner, and it's just like it's wild. It's wild to think about that.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah. So, Yuji Naka, jail time. So, getting away from all that, from the craziness of FTC, Microsoft, Nintendo being dumbasses, and Yuji Naka also being a dumbass. We got the Game Awards. So,
oh yeah, baby.
Fuck yeah. Let's talk about what got announced at the Game Awards. So, the first thing, actually, no, this is kind of out of order, but like a couple of things that were announced. A new Hellboy game, Web of Weird, was announced. Looking like the Mike Mignola comic books.
This is the only thing I didn't get to see.
Yeah, Hellboy. Hellboy looking like Hellboy from the comics. So that's cool. Might be an action game. Coming to everything, essentially, but no release date. Among Us got a new little game mode called Hide and Seek, which I thought that was a thing that already existed, but I guess not. So cool for Among Us. Street Fighter 6 got a release date, so it's June 2nd, 2023. That's also part of my week. I got the closed beta.
Oh yeah, congrats on that. By
invitation.
The way, I forgot. I'd seen you gotten that.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Are you on a stream?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. You should definitely stream that. That'd be cool.
Oh, I'm gonna definitely stream it. I'm not good at Street Fighter, but I'm gonna definitely stream it.
Dude, I was laughing at Marissa so fucking hard
because of her look.
Yeah, like it's not even because she's like this big muscly like chick. It's because of her fucking hair.
Her hair. So she's supposed to look like a Roman centurion. That's what it is.
It looks so fucking.
It's goofy. It's goofy, but it's like that's Street Fighter. I mean,
but also, I loved like watching her like.
Her moveset is cool.
She did like a suplex on somebody, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Her moveset is really cool. Like I guess she's a new grappler. I don't know. I think Zangief is supposed to come back, but like it's cool to see that there's another grappler in this.
Yeah, I did like the characters they revealed though. Like,
yeah,
she's actually pretty cool. I liked a lot of her moves, like you were saying.
Yeah,
and the other chick was cool.
Manon.
And I think they brought a guy, a black dude back that you were saying.
DJ.
Yeah.
DJ. So they announced 4 characters. Well, 1 returning character and 3 new characters that were kind of known because of the leak. So Marissa.
Okay.
Yeah, Marissa, Manon, and JP are the new characters. And then DJ is the returning character. DJ looks really fun. JP kind of has this weird energy shit, but he has a cane as well. I think it's
he looks so cool.
I think he's supposed to be. So there's this thing in Street Fighter called Psycho Energy, and I think that's what JP has is Psycho Energy. But I don't know. I don't know what his whole backstory is. He might be the new bad guy for Street Fighter. But who knows? Okay. Manon looks really interesting as well because she kind of has like judo and ballet at the same time. She looks
so cool, dude.
It's really interesting what she has. I like her design as well.
Yeah.
Everybody just looks good. Even the past beta, I was seeing like gameplay for like Ken, Jamie. Everybody just looks really fun in that game. I really want to play Jamie because
the create your own character guy did a.
oh my god.
Guile wind cutter thing. And my brother was like, I wonder who that is. And when I saw him do the wind cutter, I was like, is that
Guile,
Guile?
yeah. Guile's this big beefy
And then
guy.
I went, oh, he's a creative character, because then he did like Hamuget or something, or Uppercut, and I was like, oh yeah, okay,
Oh yeah,
that's got it.
the explore the world shit. That shit.
I don't know. They were just showing off the like creative character was in there.
Oh
Or play your own character that's not pre-made.
yeah, so that's supposed to be like the story mode thing, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the whole basis is that like you're learning from other people. Like you're learning from Luke. You do the Shoryuken. You're learning from Ryu. You're doing the spinning bird kick, Chun-Li, and then the cutter from Guile.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Street Fighter 6 just looks really fun. I can't wait to play the fucking beta, which is Friday. I have work Friday. I'm hoping to get out at a decent time so I could go and play Street Fighter 6 because I think it's going to be for like 3 days. But still, yeah, I'll probably be streaming some Street Fighter 6. And then after that, after this list, Hades 2 got announced. Oh, that was also part of my week. I finally got an escape attempt on Hades.
No, I haven't gotten one yet.
I got one until I realized that, oh, in order to get the real ending, you got to do 10. You got to do 10 escape attempts.
You just broke my heart, bro.
Yeah, it's rough.
I'm not that good.
I'm not that good either, but I got through it. I got really good boons. That's all I got.
You're gonna make me re-download it and try to keep going again now.
So this is the hilarious thing is that like even though it seems a little disheartening at the fact that like you got to do 10 runs, Hades is just an addictive game.
It's so good.
I was playing it. I was like, why did I hop off this? I was like, oh, it's probably because something else came out at the time. But like, as I was playing it, I was like, it's so addicting because every time I kept dying, I was like, all right, one more. Died. One more time. Died. Maybe I got it this time. Died. I could keep going. Like, it just kept going and going. And then it got to a point where like, I didn't realize what time it was. I was like, oh shit, I've been playing Hades for like a good like 2 hours. Without realizing it. And then I got to the end and I was like, holy shit, I did it. And then remembering that it has to be 10 endings or 10 times you have to make the escape attempt. But like I said, the game is so addictive to the point where it's just like you can just keep going. And the neat thing is after you do the first run, there is a modifier that happens for your next run in order for you to get like better bonuses and things like that. So yeah, Hades overall is pretty cool, but it's wild to see that Hades 2 is a thing.
Dude, I was so stoked seeing that shit, dude.
Because this is the first sequel that Supergiant has ever done. Like, Supergiant doesn't really do sequels.
To be fair, Hades was so well received that I can see why they
do
too.
A lot of people were talking about that was that like obviously Hades was like the fucking best thing people have played from Supergiant, and that's saying a lot because a lot of their games are really really good. I still have to play Pyre and Bastion. I still haven't played that. I played Transistor.
I've never played Bastion either.
I haven't played it. A lot of people really like Bastion.
Pyre.
Transistor I played and I really loved Transistor. But yeah, Hades 2 looks great. This new character looks really cool. And yeah, just everything about it. Awesome. So yeah, I want to continue playing Hades 1, obviously. Try to get the 9 rest of the attempts, but yeah. Gonna be a bit. But like I said, that game is so addicting that it's just like it's gonna feel like nothing. So yeah, after a little bit after that, we got the new game from the BioShock creator, from Ken Levine, Judas.
Yes.
Looking
so cool.
Looking BioShock in space. Yeah, looks fun.
But the art looks different.
It looks slightly different, but like overall, it just like how bright it is. It reminds me of BioShock Infinite.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, the difference in graphics though, it looks way smoother and better. I think I'm very excited to check this out.
Yeah, I mean, we only saw a little bit of gameplay, but I would like to see obviously more. But
of course,
yeah. So far, you know, I I really like BioShock 1. Well, I enjoyed BioShock 2. BioShock Infamous, Jesus. BioShock Infinite. People still shit on it because like it is a weird one. It's one of the black sheep, I feel like, of BioShock, but I still kind of liked it, which is, I don't know, a controversial take, but yeah, BioShock is pretty cool, and it's nice to see that, you know, that they're doing something else now,
Yeah.
but still kind of retaining a little bit of the
Back to
BioShockiness.
BioShock, baby.
Yeah, it's like very BioShocky still, but still cool. Now in space. So yeah, and then we got Bayonetta Origins: Cereza and the Lost Demon, which is a Nintendo exclusive game. When they put down the Bayonetta shit, I thought it was gonna be like Bayonetta coming to PC, and I'm like, yeah, and it's like, no, it's just a prequel thing, and I'm like, okay,
This looks cute though.
it's very cute. Yeah, I give it credit to that, but like Bayonetta's story is not the best story in the world. It's very dumb and goofy, and it involves a lot of time travel shit. And then what I hear of Bayonetta 3 is that like it's a fun game, but the story is awful. I hear Bayonetta 3's story is atrocious. Which actually kind of makes me want to play it even more, but I'll wait probably for it to go a little bit lower.
Still fun.
You don't know. That's what I'm saying, is that like the combat is still genuinely really fun, but if you're in it for the story, don't. It's like, don't. But yeah, overall, I'll probably get Bayonetta 3 eventually. So yeah, Cereza and the Lost Demon is a little bit different gameplay wise. It's still maybe somewhat action oriented, but the camera angle is kind of like isometric a little bit. Like you said, it's a very cutesy looking game. What else we got? We got the creator of Celeste shows off Earthblade, which looks like a Celeste-like game, which is cool. I enjoyed Celeste. I never beat it though. I don't know if you played it.
No, my brother tells me about it all the time. He loves it.
Oh, it's good. It's good. If you like a good platformer, Celeste is.
Earthblade, I just didn't think like I wasn't very excited about this.
I think I would like to see a little bit more gameplay, because what they were doing is just like spanning all over the level, and like,
yeah,
you don't really see gameplay. You see a little bit of gameplay, you see a little bit of combat, but that's basically it. Okay, before we get into the Kojima shit, I'm gonna just talk about the other shit, because like I'm gonna go off on the fucking Kojima shit. Tekken 8 gameplay was shown. Tekken 8 looking really good. Tekken 8 looking really good.
It looks good. I've never been a fan of Tekken.
I've always loved Tekken. I'm not good at Tekken. Like, at all, I'm not good at Tekken. I love playing Tekken, but I have no skill in it. Tekken 8 looks fun as hell. It's more Tekken you can ask for. But the models look amazing. Holy shit. The character models look amazing in this game. But, you know, I would like to see if they do any specific changes, because the big change in Tekken was Tekken 7 because of the slow-mo shit. If like you have low health, the slow-mo shit was a big change, and so was the rage arts stuff. That was also another big change. They talk about like a heat art in Tekken 8, but like I said, I'd like to see a little bit more gameplay of Tekken 8, obviously. Yeah, and then we got Diablo 4 release date, which with a new cinematic trailer. Still looking pretty cool.
This shit looks so fucking good, bro.
So who's the angel?
The angel is Imperius, I believe.
It is Imperius?
I think so.
Okay, because I thought it was crazy, because I said Imperius, and I think Ono was like, oh, I don't know, it might be, maybe not.
I'm pretty sure...
Because it can't be Tyrael.
No. Imperius, my brother was telling me, I read the books a long time ago, but he has way better memory than me. Apparently, Imperius goes after Lilith in the books, and the books are supposed to be based on the game, or both are supposed to be like linear, right?
Yeah.
The same storyline. That does seem like what's going on here is he's going after her. Like, I don't think you understand how
hyped up you're for this.
How ridiculously hyped I was when he did the little finger thing. He like moved his finger very slightly. It went gong, and then it like rung all around, and this
Mm,
light beam just shone all the little monsters,
yeah.
little demons and shit. And I like
They were like,
the
"Eh."
detail, bro, is
Yeah.
so fucking good. And then something else my brother pointed out to me was when that lady was walking and chanting or
Mm,
like saying like shit about God or something.
yeah.
Um, if you look at her feet, they're actually sticking to the ground, and her skin is being boiled off of her foot as
Hmm.
she walks.
Yeah, I
Like
noticed
that's
that.
how much detail was in there.
Yeah, I noticed that. But she was like showing no
Fuck.
like emotion towards it. She was just like
Yeah,
continuing
I'm sure she
chanting.
has
Yeah.
like some type of protection or something. It doesn't
I-
like maybe they gave her like pain, like a painless whatever around
Yeah.
her or something.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like when she like bows down and they stab, like everything. The whole thing was just like Blizzard always makes amazing fucking CG, you know,
Yeah.
stuff, man. It's just so
This
good.
I mean, yeah, it adds more to the tone for this. I feel like this specific
Yeah, yeah.
cutscene, this specific CG trailer. Um I don't remember. I think I either said Imperius or Inaris. I said one or the other, but
All right. But
yeah.
what about Naris?
Yeah. But I think in wait, I
It might
forget.
be a Naris actually.
Wait, in Reaper of Souls, you fight Inaris, don't you?
Is that who the Reaper is?
I think so. I think it is Inaris. Hold on.
Maybe. I think I can't remember if Imperius is like the highest uh angel or not, but like he's someone is like in cahoots with Lilith
Oh
at
no.
first, and then like
No,
they fight or something.
it's hilarious. You mentioned I mentioned Inaris. Literally on the Diablo wiki, the picture of Inaris is from that CG cutscene.
Oh, okay.
So I guess it is Inaris then.
Yeah.
Wait, is Inaris the one that had the relationship with Lilith?
I think so.
So this takes place what, like years after? It would assume, yeah, it would have to because humans exist. So
Yeah, Nephilims exist.
yeah.
Which Nephilims existed in Diablo 2 and Diablo 1. So
So
this is him going after her though, because there's like a rift between.
okay, gotcha. Okay, so this should be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gameplay the game's gonna be great. I mean
The gameplay, what I've seen
who
is
knows.
it looks very Diablo 3, and I fucking love Diablo 3's gameplay. Even though you don't like Diablo 3.
Yeah, but the tone is better, so I think I'm gonna
Yeah,
like it more.
yeah.
There's also supposed to be a lot more like in-depth like leveling options. So like there should be like a better talent, an actual talent tree, sorry, instead of your skills coming by level.
Mhm.
And then which they would still come by level, but you get to pick and choose what you pick, right?
So
And
quick,
then
sorry, quick
hopefully
question.
your stats should also be there.
Okay. I was gonna say, quick question. What are you gonna buy this for? What?
PS5.
Okay. Okay. So I'll get a
There's
PS5.
no way this is running on my computer.
It's gonna run really bad.
My brother, literally after the show ended, he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go buy the game."
On PS5 or PC?
No, he's gonna buy it on PS5 as well, but he bought it for PC first.
Okay.
He's like, "I'll play it with you, so don't worry."
I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that they don't do any of the crazy micromanagement shit that they did in like Diablo 3 when Diablo 3 was like announced, or like
Yeah.
even like Diablo Immortal. Like that's what I'm keeping my.
Diablo 3 was tough because like they were trying to cut off the black market sales of items,
Mm.
and I get that. That's fine, but like they kind of just ended up doing that, and like that there was supposed to be multiplayer PvP that came with Diablo 3, and that didn't come. And like if they didn't spend the time on the auction house, then maybe we would have had the PvP feature right away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't make it feel at all like either of those games, and the microtransactions stay out. But there are going to be microtransactions, they said.
Yeah.
And
Regardless,
it's going to be
because I think
cosmetic.
I think we talked about that. Is that like I think in the source code I think in the source code of Diablo 4, there was a leak that happened that like transactions are still going to be in Diablo 4.
Yeah.
Um.
Which like I figured there were going to be transactions no matter what, because almost every game that comes out now, even if it's a single player game, which is insane.
Yeah,
There's like transactions most of
yeah,
the time.
I think at this point I feel like I'm hoping it's just not. It's weird to talk about like microtransactions, but like the hope that it is not pay to win. That's what I'm just hoping for.
Yeah, of course. I don't want that at all. If it
Yeah.
is, it's gonna be boring.
It's unfortunate because, like I said, I fucking love the gameplay of Diablo 3. Diablo 3's gameplay was so much fun. Playing the fucking necromancer and like blowing up with your corpses and shit felt so fun.
Yeah.
And then that's the contrast as well. Is that like I'm still playing through Diablo 2, but Diablo 2's feeling is so much better. Like that is the truth I can give to Diablo 2. Is that like
That makes me happy.
yeah, like it feels much darker, and I'm like, yeah, I really enjoy this setting. And then, in contrast, you have Diablo 3, where it's like, I wouldn't say it's more lighter in tone. Like the tone is still a little dark, but how the characters look obviously look more World of Warcraft-ish. But the story is not as good as
I also think the voice acting wasn't as like dark toned, honestly.
Hmm.
That could also be played because of like maybe the music in the background and stuff wasn't as
Yeah.
toned towards darkness and whatever.
Hmm.
I mean, the people that made Diablo 3 were not Diablo people, to be fair.
Yeah.
So it technically wasn't even a Diablo game.
I kind of want to go back and play Diablo 3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally one trophy away on PS5 to getting, or PS4 technically, to getting my Diablo 3 Platinum. I've definitely played it a lot.
Yeah.
And like, that's because it's Diablo, man. It's a dungeon crawler. It's still gonna be okay, but disappointing.
I still gotta play through Diablo 2. I still gotta grind because obviously I'm stuck on that Diablo boss because
Dude, I have no trophies for the game. I got to level 20 and then quit. I need to go back through the same.
Yeah, I'm just on that Diablo boss because I'm in Act 3 and it's just like, just gotta get through it.
Who are you again in there? You're a necromancer?
No, I'm assassin. I went with assassin, but I don't know. Like I'm so far in the game. I'm so far in the game that I don't know if I would prefer playing necromancer. But I don't know. I feel like I probably fucked up with assassin because like it feels like none of it feels particularly fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think the funnest character to try would be what is he called?
Barbarian?
No, not a shaman.
Druid, yeah.
Yeah. Druid is a good mix of like
Necromancer.
He has summons that he can get, like a necromancer, and then he has transformations, werewolf and bear. And then he also has spells. Like he has a good mixture of like all the characters.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if anything, I'll probably just start from the beginning a little bit. Like, just start a new character and just play a little bit of the new character, see if anything really, mixes with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, the assassin's not bad, but it's just like, I don't know, for some reason, it's just like, it's not really clicking with me, the assassin.
It's pretty melee. I don't think most people who like fantasy don't really like melee's not that great because it's kind of like basic, right? When, like, you have these characters that are able to like cast these grand spells. Why wouldn't you want to be one of them instead?
Exactly. I think that's the point because like a lot of her stuff is trap stuff, which is like it's not terrible, but it's like I don't know. I think because of the fact that I've been spoiled on Diablo 3 because of the necromancer shit, but I have to remember that like this is an older game compared to Diablo 3 because Diablo 3's was like when you're playing the fucking necromancer, everything was just blowing up, and I'm like, I fucking love this stupid shit where everything is just blowing up. So yeah, I'll probably play some other characters, but I still gotta grind through Diablo 2 to beat Diablo. So yeah, Diablo 4 overall still looking pretty good. Probably will get it, most likely.
You're getting it.
Yeah, I'm getting it. not Forspoken. Diablo 4. Let's see. They showed a little bit more of the Mario movie. Looks okay. Look good.
Yeah.
Looking pretty okay. No, what else can we say about Mario?
Still no more Chris Pratt, please. Thank you. Bye.
Crash Team Rumble.
Dude, this like felt like it came out of nowhere.
This is weird.
Yeah.
This is very...
I don't think a lot of people are gonna want to play this. Maybe like nowadays kids. But like
yeah.
I don't think anybody that played Crash back in the day, unless you're like that was like your one big game.
Yeah. Well, Crash, I feel like at this point is somewhat trying to make a comeback, and it really is trying because you got all these new Crash games. You know, you have the Insane trilogy, which is the remakes slash remakes or remasterings of the first three games, and then you have Crash 4, which was the brand new game that came out, and then you have what is it, Crash Nitro? And then you got this now. Like, Crash is trying to make a comeback. But it's interesting because, like, it is Toys for Bob, and Toys for Bob, at a point was going to be just a Call of Duty thing.
Yeah.
So nice to see that they're doing something, but I think now at this point they're just the Crash team. So yeah, it's a little like arena rumble game, which is, I guess, neat if, like I said, or like you said, if you really love Crash.
Yeah.
So yeah, after that, they showed a teaser, another trailer for Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty with Idris Elba.
Yes! Yo, when Idris Elba showed up, I was like, what the fuck?
He's
I
like,
was so excited.
We're the Cyberpunk. And it's like, what? Yeah, Idris Elba is a pretty good pick. And he is a gamer man. I mean, it's Knuckles. Come on, you gonna tell me you're not gonna put Knuckles in Cyberpunk? So yeah, Idris is supposed to be playing this character called Solomon Reed. And basically this new DLC is supposed to be like a spy mission kind of thing, which I'm very interested in. Obviously, like I said, Cyberpunk was a game that I really, really enjoyed, specifically story wise. And yeah. You know, reading this, I just realized there was a thing on Diablo. The reason why it got delayed is because of allegedly the team was pushed to crunch, and then it got stopped with the crunch. Oh, weird. For Diablo 4? Yeah, that's why it got delayed.
Yeah, I mean, I still think they're gonna crunch.
Probably, most likely.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Speaking about
delayed, that feels like that should have been taking longer, honestly. I can't believe they were probably going to push it out earlier.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, even from the early stuff, it still looked pretty polished.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
It's surprising that they were going to push it out so early, though.
Yeah, but
like they usually take a good amount of years for it. That's why.
Yeah, I guess. I guess it's just wanted a clean product, obviously. So.
No, of course, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the wait will be worth it. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Please just let Diablo 4 be good. Anyways, speaking of the good shit, Armored Core 6, bro. What you know about Armored Core?
This looked really cool. I've never liked Armored Core games.
Yeah, I never played an Armored Core game.
But it looks great.
I mean, it was from Software's, like, they've
Origins.
made, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So there was an interview with Miyazaki talking about like what the Armored Core is going to be. It's not going to be a Souls game, obviously, but it is still going to be a big mech game with bosses you're going to have to fight, you know, like any regular video game. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what is considered to be the good Armored Core game.
I don't know.
What is considered? I'm looking online right now. Verdict Day. Oh.
Apparently that was the last one too.
Yeah, that was the last one.
2013. God damn.
Yeah, that is a good. Wow, is that on Steam?
Those fans must be so excited.
Yeah. Oh, it's a direct sequel to Armored Core 5. Weird. Okay. So it's a sequel to 5, but 6 is, I don't know, is it like Front Mission? Where like Front Mission has like different, it's like same universe but like different stories. I don't know. Or maybe like, I don't know. Armored Core is a weird one to get into. Maybe I should probably do a little bit more diving into Armored Core, but I'll get there when I get there. So yeah, good for Armored Core fans. And also good for From Software to do, I guess, something somewhat different, but at the same time, what they were known for before. And to see how it would hold up in more modern and more modern gameplay wise.
Thank you for fucking bringing your fans more stuff they love about you.
Yeah, good for you. When's Elden Ring DLC? Just kidding. When is Bill Clinton going to be in Elden Ring?
Speaking of Elden Ring,
Speaking of Elden Ring, Final Fantasy 16. New trailer came out for Final Fantasy 16. Still, I'm anticipating it. I already have that game pre-ordered. Very excited.
with the release date.
With a release date, June 22nd, 2023. So we got a good while.
When was 16 announced? Do you know?
16 was announced. Oh shit! I want to say it was this year. No, I think it was last year.
I feel like usually we get these things announced, and then it's like 4 years later we get it.
I want to say it might have been last year. Oh, 2020. Yeah, it was announced during a PS5 showcase in 2020. But yeah, 2 years. Yeah, that's right, because I think it was mentioned that like the game was going to be delayed as well. Because I don't know, there was a whole thing that I think Yoshi P was talking about how like the game is still being done, like they're still fixing some minor things, but it's still going to be delayed. But now we got a release date. Still, Final Fantasy 16, one of my most anticipated games of next year. But then I don't know whether or not this thing is going to come out next year. Death Stranding 2.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
When I saw Death Stranding 2, I was so happy for you because I knew you were gonna love it, and I was just like, "Great, more stacking boxes."
I was like, "Yes, more package deliveries." So this is a hilarious thing. I was actually talking to a buddy of mine, where I was just mentioning like stuff that I was playing on my PC, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm playing Death Stranding a little bit on my PC because it looks really good." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "How is that game?" And I'm like, I enjoy it, but I don't know if you're gonna like it. And he's like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well," I told him like it's one of these weird pseudo games where the premise is really stupid. The story is incredibly dumb. But for some reason, for me, the gameplay was so addictive for some reason. I don't know why. And it was hilarious too, because at the time I was working at the post office and I'm like, why am I playing a delivery game when I'm already working at a fucking place that I'm doing deliveries at? It just didn't make sense. But I think the reason why I was so addicted to it was because of the game is essentially giving you the options of like, how are you going to get from point A to point B? All right. And on top of that, what are you going to find along your way? So it's giving you the ability to create your own routes and also explore the world a little bit to see if you can create an even shorter route. Like giving you the option to be a little bit more creative on how you get from point A to point B. And like I was mentioning to my buddy, it was that like I think the reason why I enjoyed it even more is because you were getting more options on how to traverse the areas that you were in. So like the grappling hook stuff was like the funnest shit in the world because it's like trying to find a point for your grappling hook and or like your little grappling line thing. Like you're trying to find a point from like a mountain and getting to a lower level plane, and getting to the mountain was like the hardest experience. So like having that hook was the best thing you can do because now you have a point where you can get in a higher altitude and then get to another point. So and then the neater aspect of Death Stranding was the consequences of killing enemies, because there was a whole thing where in the basis of its story was if somebody dies in that world, essentially they become a BT, the monsters in that game. But before they become a BT, their bodies have to be disposed, so you have to cremate them. If you don't cremate them, essentially the body acts as a ticking time bomb and acts as a birth of the BT, essentially. So in the game, if you kill an enemy, the game is like, you just killed somebody, you got to get rid of that body before a crater just happens, an explosion. So that's also part of the aspect as well, where it's like, oh, there is consequences to killing an enemy, and that's why the game really leans to being more non-lethal and more sneaky sneak, but not as much sneaky sneak. And yeah, I just don't know why. I just really liked the gameplay of Death Stranding and the stupidity of it. Like, the story was incredibly stupid. Like, overall, it is one of the dumbest stories I have seen, but it's played so straight like every other Kojima game that I'm like, yeah, I could go with it. And then, seeing this announced, I'm like, where is this going to go? Because, like, Death Stranding 1 felt definitive. Like, it felt done. And then we got that rumor thing from well, not even a rumor, that fucking interview with Norman Reedus where I think an interviewer asked him, like, oh, yeah, you worked on Death Stranding and this and that. And Norman Reedus was just like nonchalantly, yeah, we're working on the sequel. And it's just like, what? And it's like, yeah, we're working on a sequel. I thought it was going to be Overdose, that like thing that was shown with Overdose Man, shirtless Overdose Man. But no, straight up a sequel to Death Stranding 2, which is wild. I'm very curious to see if you play as Sam, Norman Reedus, or you play as Fragile. But the thing that's also interesting is that, like, I don't know, like, I don't know. So there's a thing in Death Stranding called timefall, when, like, the rain ages you. That's why a lot of the characters wear, like, protective gear when it comes to rain. And that's why you don't really drink water in that game, or, like, you have to, I think there's something with timefall water that's, like, either you wait a certain amount of time for it to, like, de-ageify you, or it's something. But I remember from the first game, Fragile, the Leah Sadu character, she got timefalled from the neck down. So basically her neck down is like old lady body. But it's funny because in this trailer, her body looks fine. So it's like, is this like years after? Like, or like, does timefall just go away? Like, I don't remember the lore of that. So it's just like interesting. But then you have
Man Reedus.
And then you have Old Man Reedus, where he looks like fucking Metal Gear Solid 4 Snake. And I'm like, awesome. That's fucking cool. I don't know if it's gonna add to anything, like maybe the dumb shit that he has, the Dooms, the Dooms disease that he has is probably aging him faster. Or some shit. But like, old Norman Reedus looks pretty cool. Like, it looks really good. Yeah, when I saw when he appeared, and especially Grade, I was like, fuck, they're doing a Metal Gear Solid 4. And it looks so good. Like, it looks so good. But like I was mentioning before, is that like they have a new cast as well, because I think Ellie Fanning and this Japanese actress, I forget her name. She was in Deadpool 2. They're also in this, and like their posters were very, very weird, because it's like each of them had like, who am I, where am I, and I'm like, where is this gonna go in like the specific direction? But seeing a little bit more of this trailer, the world is still fucked in Death Stranding. Like, it's still incredibly fucked because of what's happening. So that's also the other thing of Death Stranding 1, is that like you kind of fix the problem a little bit. You stopped the end times, but the issue is the world is still pretty fucked. So I'm very, very interested. I'm very, very enveloped in Death Stranding. As stupid as it is, I'm very excited for this. It's so
I'm excited to watch you deliver packages as I fall asleep.
I can't wait to deliver packages.
No, I mean, like, the story was kind of like blurred for me, but like,
it's bonkers.
The visuals are so good.
Yeah, the visuals are great. There was a lot of good acting moments, but that's also the other side of it, is like the premise and the plot are so stupid that the acting has to hold up. The acting has to be serious. The acting has to be well done in order for it to be believable. And the biggest person that made that believable was Tommy Lee Jenkins, who played Die Hard Man, the guy with the skull mask face. And yeah, the names are incredibly stupid as well. But that's also the other thing. You had fucking Die Hard Man, Heart Man, and Dead Man.
Um,
And then
question for you real quick.
Norman Reedus says Pee Pee Poo Poo Man. Go ahead.
Oh shit, I forgot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Pee Pee Poo Poo Man.
Oh, I swear it had something to do with Die Hard, man. It's okay, no worries.
Oh, Mads Mikkelsen?
Nah, see, I
Oh.
can't remember what I was gonna ask about it now.
Oh,
It like
okay.
was in and then just like
Went
straight
out.
gone.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
It's all right. So, Pee Pee Poo Poo Man comes back. There is a reason why, okay? Because it's so... God, this also adds to the stupidness of fucking Death Stranding. So, in order to battle BTs, your main character, Norman Reedus, Sam's bodily fluids are a thing that can fight fucking the monsters. So they either use blood grenades or piss grenades. It is the stupidest shit. It is so dumb.
Man, I really didn't pay attention to shit in this game.
I paid a good amount of attention. But the issue becomes the issue with Death Stranding is that like the world is pretty cool, but at the same time the game really throws a lot of lore shit that you got to read that really adds to the world, and there's a lot when it comes to emails, glossary things, and just like I guess somewhat interactions with other characters where it's just like, you know, it adds more to the lore. So like they added that as part of the lore stuff where it's like, yeah, you can use your piss grenades to fight the monsters. It's like, okay, you just got to run with it and it works. So yeah, like I said, Death Stranding, I feel like is not to put it in a sense that like I'm gatekeeping people, because I'm absolutely not. It is a game that I feel like is not for everyone. And
Oh, that's for fucking sure.
yeah, it is definitely a game not for everyone, because, you know, even when the game came out, there were people complaining, being like, yo, this game's dumb. Like, this game is bad. And I'm like, I mean, I enjoyed it. You know, like I said, it's not for everyone, but like, dumb is still a Hideo Kojima game. Look at fucking Metal Gear. That entire series is stupid. It is incredibly dumb. But I enjoy it. I love Metal Gear. But yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those aspects where it's like, you know, kind of go with it, essentially. So yeah, Death Stranding 2. Very excited. This trailer looked great. Will you get BB? Maybe. So yeah, that was basically it for announcements at the Game Awards. You know, you got the actual Game Awards. Basically God of War taking all of them. Surprised God of War didn't take Best Fighting Game. Uh but yeah, what won was Elden Ring. And then yeah, we talked about this, the fucking kid that showed up. That was really bizarre. Really, really bizarre. So yeah, that was basically it for the week as far as we can get up to what we missed, essentially. Yeah. You
I
gonna
guess we don't like the Game Awards. Was pretty
It was
pretty
okay.
happy with this one so far.
Yeah,
Or so far, sorry. Overall.
I mean, as much as like I was going off about how like stupid it is, and like Al Pacino coming out, it was okay. It was okay. And then we had Christopher Judge make an entire fucking monologue. But I mean, he deserved it, to be honest. His performance as Kratos was awesome. It was good. It was crazy to see that he was up against Atreus, the actor. Sony Sujak, I think his name is. The boy. But I mean, overall, it's gonna be fucking Kratos. Yeah, good time. That's the thing, is that like I talked about how like I don't really give a shit about award shows. For this specifically, I care more about the announcements. But you know, I still had some input of being like, yeah, I mean, this person deserved it, or this game deserved it. You know, that aspect. But I feel like overall, a lot of those games that were nominated should have been played or should be played. But my main gripe, bro.
Wait, can I say it?
Go ahead.
Give me the game name real quick. I forgot it.
Final Fantasy Origins, Stranger of Paradise.
Oh, never mind. I'm wrong on this one. This is all you got.
Stranger of Paradise was not nominated for anything, and it is a fucking sham of an award show. Shame on Jeff Keighley.
It definitely deserves something.
It deserves something, but yeah, there were a lot of games I didn't realize came out this year, but just weren't they weren't big hits, because fucking what was that game? Fucking Ghostwire Tokyo came out this year.
Oh, man.
And it was that forgettable that it got nominated for nothing.
Yep.
That's the wild shit. I gotta play this game. I have it, but I don't know if I should make it a stream game. I don't know.
It's bad. I mean, it might be watchable, but
yeah, because
the gameplay looks terrible.
It's just a shooter.
Also, what was that game that got nominated where you had the cards? It's Nintendo. I think it's called like White Magic or something. Had the cards. It was a shooter with cards or some shit.
A Nintendo?
I thought it was on Nintendo. I think so.
Cards shooter. Oh, Neon White.
Neon White. That's what it was.
Neon White. Yeah, that got nominated for like best indie.
Yeah, that shit looks cool. I want to play that game. So
yeah,
bad.
no, people really like it. It's more like a time trial kind of thing. Like the faster you go, the better times. It's mostly like it still has a story, but like the multiplayer aspect is like just get a better time from your friends.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo, I completely forgot came out this year. I got it for $20. And I'm like, oh yeah, I have this. But I even mentioned it's just like it was a shame because like Ghostwire Tokyo was considered to be like a really meh game, and I'm like, damn, that sucks. Because like I was really excited for it, but I had to remember that like mid-production Ikumi Nakamura, who was the director of it, left, so it just became a completely different game afterwards. So yeah, unfortunate. And then fucking, well, I mean, it's not probably gonna get nominated or talked about until like maybe the next Game Awards because it came out so late. Callisto Protocol, which is another one that was like really unfortunate that it is not a particularly good game as well. Like it's an okay game, but it's not like it's like very meh as well. Yeah, but here's hoping 2023 looking better. Looking way better. But yeah, that's it for video games. That's it for video games. So Howler, go play the Goaty.
Gotta work at it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.